What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I am about 200 miles from home, so I am running like the Warriors. For all you old school 70s people, you know who I'm talking about. Remember the Warriors trying to get to home base? Anyway, I wanted to elaborate on a video that I did recently. Actually, it was a series of videos, and I'm going to leave a link to those videos. If you click on this iCard up here, it's going to take you to those videos, but one of those videos in particular was very colorful as far as my language went in regards to being stuck at a shipper, and ended up staying at the shipper for 21 or close to 22 hours. And I just kind of wanted to talk about why that kind of really upset me. Now, one thing I will say about that is really it was just all about communication more than anything, because in reality I'd planned on shutting down right outside of that receiver, overnight anyway. So the fact that I was there almost 22 hours really didn't matter, because I had another load that was going to be picking up the next day, and I needed to reset my clock anyway. What really bugged me about that was just the lack of respect that was given in regards to how they handled things. You know, they knew that it was going to take a while, but they decided to not mention that, and to further make that situation worse, put me in a dock, me and another driver in a dock, and then go home for the night. So what really bugs me about that is I am huge when it comes to time, okay? If you talk to anybody that knows me, I could probably, and I don't remember any of these times, but I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've been late since I was like 18 years old. I'm just never late, and I am hypersensitive when it comes to time. One thing I could guarantee Prime or any shipper or receiver is that I will never be late if it's anything to do with me. Now, it could be weather, or it could be, weather might be about it. I mean, if I have the time to plan around traffic, definitely do that. But I mean, I am so anal about time that if we were to be talking to my son right now, I would ask him what my thoughts on time are, and he would say, if you're 10 minutes early, you're on time. If you're 5 minutes early, you're late. And I live my life by that. And that could come down to, business type stuff. It could come down to like even just meeting at a friend's house, and in this case, arriving at shippers and receivers. Here's a funny story that kind of talks about how I feel about time. I went to my 10-year high school reunion back in the days. This had to be 1997, something like that. Yeah, it was 97. And I had met a girl that I was in high school with, and we ran in different circles. I think she might have been like into the goth scene or something like that. So we never kind of really crossed paths in high school, but we started talking at the reunion, and we went out on a few dates. And as far as I liked her and all that stuff, but she had a problem with time. And there was a time that she was supposed to come over to my house. We were supposed to watch a movie or something like that. And let's say it was 8 o'clock. I don't remember what time it was, but 8 o'clock or whatever time comes, and she's not there, and ask anybody, I will start like fuming. It's a curse, trust me. So I start getting pissed off. About 8:15, I get a call, and she's like, did you want me to bring over anything or something like that? And I was like, you haven't left yet? And she's like, no. And I was like, just forget about it. Don't even worry about it. And that was the last time I talked to her, saw her, any of that stuff. So I'm extremely serious when it comes to time, and I think that's why that shipper I keep calling it the shipper. That's why that particular receiver had essentially had me break character, lose my composure and all that stuff. And I contemplated taking that video down, but you know what, if that's how I felt, that's how I felt. And I just decided to go ahead and leave that video up. But definitely had me in a situation where I felt like I broke character or composure. Definitely not my best look. Now, as far as the receiver goes, they never saw any of that stuff, and not necessarily because I didn't want to go in there and go off on them. And that's part of the problem. That's part of my frustration. Had I been an owner operator or been something like that, maybe I would have said something. I don't know. But when I'm basically representing somebody else, I could not let that happen. That's number one. So if I'm representing Prime, you're never going to see me break character or composure with a client. And number two, I didn't even want to give them the satisfaction of having them feel like, they had affected my life in that way. So anyway, that's it, man. I'm about to go home. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be back. Somewhere between 8 to 10 days, I'd imagine. For all you guys that are thinking about getting into leasing, definitely, the reason I'm saying this is somebody had asked me some questions, and they'd asked me had I got hit with any unexpected bills or something like that. And I did just get hit with a little minor one. It wasn't anything big. What had happened was I'm trying to my hoses and everything on the back of my truck were like super close to the catwalk, and I haven't been inspected in a grip, haven't been pulled in. So I was like, you know what, somebody's nitpicking, they could potentially hit me for that. So I'd raised the hoses up a little bit, and I made a sharp turn, and those hoses grabbed onto the wiring plug back there and pulled that out. So I didn't have any trailer lights, so I had to have somebody come out and rewire that up. So not that much money. I'm not exactly sure exactly how much it was, but it's not gonna be that much money. But those are things that you're gonna end up getting hit with, whereas a company driver, I'm not sure, would have to handle that payment. But we are going home. I got a decent load, or two decent loads. Well, one decent load before this that paid pretty good, and then this load is a load that was going from Pennsylvania to California, and I'm going to be dropping it at the Denver yard. And I've had to run this load pretty hard because they're wanting a team to pick this up to finish it off, and they wanted it there as soon as possible, and I got no problem with that. So anyway, just one of those things, man, that even if these people aren't respecting you, find your way to vent. I found a way to vent on YouTube. I really didn't want to vent like this with anybody else, so that's how I got it out. But definitely don't do that with any of your clients that you may be dealing with. So anyway, can't wait to get back home. Like I said, 200 miles to go, and under 200 miles at this point, and we will be back at the Hacienda Can Grande. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.